You have probably heard 10 different opinions on how to get recruitment clients. Some tell you to automate everything. Others tell you to go full cold call. Some push AI. Others swear by inbound. Here is what I can tell you. Not from theory, not from guesswork, but from direct experience. I've been in recruitment for over 10 years. Top biller in a recruitment agency after I founded my own recruitment agency. But more importantly, I've been hired by agencies making millions, sometimes 9-figure a year, to train their teams on how to win clients. So I've seen what works, I've seen their strategies, and guess what? Most agencies, whether they are 10 or 1,000 people, rely on the same 2 or 3 strategies. So in this video, I'm going to do what nobody else does. First, I will show you how recruitment agencies really find clients. The raw truth, not the fluff. Then I will show you why it's broken for most of you. And finally, how I've built a system to attract committed clients without chasing, begging, or spamming. So if you want to work half as much and get better clients, watch closely. Let's start with how recruitment agencies find their clients. And you can be sure that the vast majority of them, most probably more than 90%, are using those 2 strategies to find clients. And they make 70 to 80% of their money with those 2 strategies. The strategy number 1, they use candidates to generate leads, basically. So they pull up information from a resume. They will qualify the candidate and they will ask him questions about where are you currently applying. They will ask references from his previous employer. They will ask questions about his current manager and the project he's working on. They will maybe ask for referrals if he knows anybody in the business that he would recommend, etc., etc. So with that information, they will build their market. So now they know where the potential is. What you have to understand with that strategy is that maybe with the first call, you won't get all the information that you want. But those candidates that you are contacting, they are open to new opportunities. So you want to keep in touch with them because maybe you don't have an opportunity for them right now, but it will be maybe different in a week or 2. So you will keep in touch because you want to build your candidate pipeline. I mean, you are not contacting those candidates obviously solely to get information from them. You are contacting those candidates because you want to build a pipeline. So when there is an opportunity, you have candidates that you can place. But while you are doing this, they also use their candidates to generate information that will help them to get clients. So let's say day 1, you contact a candidate, maybe give you 1 or 2 interesting information, maybe none, but you will keep in touch. And 5 days later, you will follow it up with a call and you will ask him, hey, Mr. Candidate, how is it going? I just wanted to let you know that I don't have any new opportunity on my side, but I just wanted to follow up and let you know that I don't forget you. So how is it going on your side? Is there any progress with the recent interviews you had? Do you have any new opportunities, etc.? Okay, so now you are building trust. So you will gain more information and then you follow up 3 days later and you will get even more information. And you will reach a point, because those are active candidates looking for a new opportunity. You will reach a point where basically either you manage to place them because there is an open position, you send their profile, you manage to get an interview, an offer, and you close the candidates. Great for you, because first of all, you managed to get information to build your market, and second of all, you just made a placement. So that's great. But worst case scenario, you can now replace them. Let's say that they are no longer on the market because they found a new opportunity, but through another channel. That's not big of a deal, because as you kept in touch, now you know even before the manager, their current manager, that they are going to leave. Because the candidate told you, hey, I'm no longer looking for a job because I just received an offer that I have accepted. But at the time he's sharing that information with you, he's not sharing it yet with his current employer. So now what you're going to do, you're going to ask questions about his current manager. So when he will make the announcement, you can directly call that guy. And even though you don't manage to replace them, That's a new contact for you, and you are building your market. So this is the candidate strategy. The second strategy is, this is probably the first strategy that you learn when you are starting in a recruitment agency as an employee and you are working on the permanent market. So you are placing employees, you are a headhunter basically. So what you will be taught is that every morning you will spend 1 or 2 hours on job boards and on LinkedIn to find all the job opening within your industry. And then with LinkedIn, you will try to find who is the hiring manager, who is the decision maker. And you will reach out to that person, to the hiring manager, to introduce yourself and try to help them fill their position. So basically, trust me, it's not more complicated than that. Most of staffing agencies are using those two strategies. What they do next is outreach. So they will contact those people. They will contact those prospects, those leads. They will do it via LinkedIn, they will do it via emails, but it's maybe like 20 or 30%. The remaining 70%, it's pure cold calling. And you know what? Those strategies were working 30, 20, 10 years ago, and they will most probably be still working in 10 or 20 years. This is really the basics of recruitment, but it comes with some challenges. We're going to see it now. So if we take the candidate strategy, the problem with that is that yes, it works, but it takes time. Usually with that strategy, you will need between 6 to 9 months to make a deal. So yes, there are some people that are able to make their first deal after 3, 4, 5 months. But trust me, I'm coaching staffing agencies every day. And for those using the strategy, usually it's more between 6 to 9 months. And some of them, it's even after a year or so. Also, it's a lot of input because you need to talk at least to 10 to 20 people, 20 candidates every day. So between 10 to 20 conversations. That's quite a lot when you don't have any open position yet. And also it's kind of unpredictable. It's really difficult to know where the next deal will be coming from. But the job board strategy, the job opening strategy is not perfect neither. Why? Because as I said, this is most probably the first thing you learn when you are starting in a recruitment agency as an employee. So as a consequence, everybody is doing that. Every recruiter on earth did that at one point in their career. The main problem is that obviously you can be sure that anyone posting a job ad, they will receive dozens of calls per week, if not per day, of recruiters like you trying to offer the service. So the competition is very high and you are not standing out at all. So that's the main cons. Also, most of the time you are too late because the position is already posted. It means that the internal recruiter is already on it. As I said, 5 minutes after they posted the job ad, they already have recruiters calling them. So maybe they are already working with somebody else and you will have competition. The manager himself started to look through his network if he can find anybody, etc. So most of the time you are too late. That is not the best moment to start a collaboration. And also for that reason, it will be very difficult to get commitment, to get exclusivity, or even worse, to get paid up front. And so the main issue with those strategies is that your conversion and your commitment will be very low. So I'm not saying it's not working. It is working, but it will be slow, it will take time, and it is not sustainable. This is why so many recruiters are quitting. I mean, recruiters working in staffing agencies is because doing that for 2 years, man, I can understand that you will be burning out. It's a lot of activities. You feel like you are always running. With that strategy, you are, both of them, you are the recruiter chasing, begging, and spamming. And this is a recruiter you don't want to be. And some people thought, oh, you know what? I have the solution. It is mass automation. So to solve the problem, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to mass chasing, mass begging, and mass spamming. And it's going to solve the problem, right? So obviously, you understand why it is not. Because your outreach loses even more quality. That will impact your conversions and that will impact commitment. It's a nightmare. really, you don't want to build a system that way. And if it worked at some point, like a bit, the result was not comparable with what you would get with a quality outreach strategy. But still, there are people that managed like 2 or 3 years ago to get some business with mass automation and outreach. But very quickly, people started to overuse it, and now everybody is aware of it, everybody hates it. So it is really the last thing that you want to try. And I have so many people reaching out to me over the 2 last years telling me, look, I have started recruitment like 2 years ago, and I started with mass automation. It was working well. I was getting some clients, and now nobody is answering, and I have no clue on how to get clients. So this is really the situation where you don't want to be. You want to know, to master the fundamentals on how to get clients on your own, so you are never in that situation where you are lost and you don't know what to do. And trust me, if that strategy was working, the 8 or 9 figure staffing agencies would be the one to use it, and they don't. And I know recruiters making 500K per year, making $1 million per year, and none of them is using mass automation. But what to do then? If you are in a situation where you cannot afford to wait 6, 9, or 12 months before making your first placement because you need to pay your rent, or if you don't want to burn out, if you are tired of chasing, begging, and spamming to get clients, this is exactly to solve that problem that I've built this new system. So there are 4 steps in my system. The first one, it starts with smart targeting. So we build a lead list with our smart segmentation method. So we are using hiring signals, so we can get in touch with hiring managers even before the job is posted, the job is live. And that's the best moment to contact them, because then you can sell a retainer, you can get exclusivity, you have no competition. So that's the ideal moment. And also, thanks to the smart segmentation, you can really personalize your message at scale, because everybody within that list, they share common characteristics that you can use to personalize your outreach. So you don't have to custom 20 or 30 different messages every day. So it's not because you don't automate everything that you cannot be efficient and that you cannot save time. So with the smart targeting, you can prioritize and personalize. Then the second step is the smart outreach. So we will use a multi-channel approach, because some people, they prefer to be contacted over the phone. Some people, they prefer to be contacted by email, some via LinkedIn messages, etc. So it is really important to make sure that they got your message. We can use different formats as well. It will depend on your market, your personality, your strength. It could be a voice note, it could be a video, it could be a short text, it could be a phone call. Everything works if it's done properly. What really matters is that you keep that human touch and that it is extremely targeted. You need to know perfectly who to contact. This is what we do with the smart targeting. That's really important. You don't want to be chasing dead leads. And there are so many tools and strategies nowadays to anticipate who is more likely to hire soon. And those people, you warm them up with the smart outreach and then you follow up. This is how you're going to drastically increase your conversion and your response rate. Step number 3, it's the commitment system. So you really want to increase the client commitment because you do not want to waste your time. You either want exclusivity or you want to get paid upfront with a retainer. So you are not working for free basically. And I know that many recruiters believe that it is so hard to sell a retainer, but the truth is that most of you don't even dare to ask. You never asked. When's the last time that you tried to sell exclusivity or retainer? You convince yourself that it was not possible. Trust me, it is way more simple than you think. I'm not saying that it's easy, but just asking the question, for example, it goes a long way. And in the client commitment system, we share the exact scripts and questions to ask to build that trust, but more importantly, to lead the clients to the conclusion that it's actually more beneficial for them to work on exclusivity or on the retainer. But you have to remember this, is that thanks to the smart targeting and the smart outreach, you are already making your life way easier when it comes to increasing your client commitment, because quality outreach builds quality relationship. They will trust and respect you more because the value perceived will be way higher than somebody just randomly contacting them like 10 other recruiters the same day because they just saw a job posting. And then step number 4, conversion. So during my first 2 to 3 years as a recruiter, I was working maybe, I don't know, from 8:30 until probably 7, 8 p.m. Like most recruiters, when you are working in a staffing agency, I was working a lot. Obviously, I was also replying to my emails after working hours. During the weekend, I was also making calls. I was really working a lot, like most of you guys. And this was not what I wanted in life. I was convinced that there was life after work. So I built a system to really increase my conversion from sending a resume to a client until securing an interview, a second interview, a final interview, securing an offer, and increasing my offer acceptance rate. Back then, they were calling me in my office the sniper, because with 3 resumes, I could get 2 interviews, I could get 1 offer and make 1 placement. And this is only because I learned how to maximize every single step of the recruitment process and to keep control. Trust me, it's not about luck, it's something that you can predict. And this is how I've been able to work 4 hours a day, to travel the world, to be a digital nomad. For some that are following me on YouTube, for sometimes you could see me living for 3 months in Mauritius Island, for example. This is possible only thanks to that system. And so with this new system, instead of needing 9, 6, or 12 months to make your first placement and working 10 to 12 hours per day, you can expect to secure your first deal after 2 to 3 months and then to make 1 deal per month consistently, working only 4 to 6 hours in the beginning, and after 6 months, you will be able to work only 4 hours and get those results as well. And only when you master this strategy and those 4 steps, and that you are getting the result, getting the cash coming in, then you can add layers to your strategy. But you have to understand that this is the fundamental. This should be the backbone of your business, of your outreach strategy. Then, of course, you can do social selling, write interesting posts within your niche, targeting decision makers within your industry, messaging those, liking your post or commenting or liking their post as well, and following up with a message. All of that is working as well, but it is less predictable. It takes more time. Trust me, if you want to be here for the long term, you need to be able to do that first, those 4 steps. This is a system. I couldn't afford to rely on luck, so I decided to build a system. I wanted my result to be predictable. I was tired of being ghosted all the time by clients, and it was not an option for me to stay in an office or to work 10 hours a day. This is why I built the client's reply system. And I've built a private Skool group around it. And for now, it's still free to join. Inside, I go deeper, I share real examples, I break down each step, and I even show you how I apply it myself live. It's also where you can ask questions, connect with others, and start implementing the system in your own recruitment business. So if you want to stop chasing clients and get replies from people that are actually ready to work with you, join the group now. The link is below.